What's up, y'all? It's your boy Joe. Y'all already know what's going on. Happy Father's Day. Now, I want to dedicate this Let's Talk to all of the fathers and their children, especially the ones that do not have a relationship with their children or do not have the relationship with their father. I also want to dedicate this video to my father and the potential relationship that I want to have with him. This video is the start of a brand new healing journey that I am willing to take with my father. So I want to invite you into this vulnerable and transparent conversation that I'm about to have with my sister, my cousin, and myself. And what you are about to see is my sister and my cousin helping to shift my perspective in the way that I see my father and giving him more grace, because we all deserve more grace. What you also about to see is 27 years compacted into 25 minutes. So understand that there are some things that are going to be missing from the story, because again, we are condensing 27 years into 25 minutes. So I want you guys to be open. I want to know what you think by the end of the conversation. I want to know what questions that you have. And prayerfully, this conversation that we are about to see will help your relationship with whoever you have, but especially your father. I love you. See y'all soon.
Why do you feel like it's your job to heal the relationship though?
I feel like, first of all, I feel like it's my job because a lot of people don't have their fathers. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I was like, well, I feel like I just needed to take accountability and say like, hey, like, I have my father, so let me try.
Why do you feel like you, as a son, need to save you and your father's relationship?
I think as a natural human thing, like you want to like have that relationship toward your father, especially like when you want to be like him. Mm-hmm. Or wanted to be like him. But I think the journey that God has allowed me to be on has allowed me to know, like, of course he is my father, my Abba father. Mm-hmm. My Abba father, but yeah, I just think as a natural human, it's just something that
it's just a desire of yours.
Yeah, it's just a desire. Like, mm-hmm. I have my father's first, middle, last name, and it's just something that I really desired.
Yeah.
I did.
So if you could say anything to your dad right now to fix the relationship that you feel like, you know, has a little broken pieces, what would you say? Stamp it.
I was going to say it too.
I think vulnerability, transparency. I'm at a point to where I don't want him in my life. I think I'm doing my best to get disconnected as possible.
So if your father was here right now, and all you could say is, right now, Dad, I don't want you in my life, and I want to be disconnected from you. If he was sitting right here.
I think I would say that out of anger. Like, I'm very defensive when I see my dad. As of this moment, mm-hmm. I'm very defensive, but what I used to want to say is like, accept me, love me, respect my boundaries.
Respect my boundaries.
Well, I want to say this because, like you said, I'm where I'm coming from is like what I my view of y'all.
Your perspective.
I don't think you honestly want him at your life. I don't believe
I
it.
agree.
I think you don't want the person, you don't want him to continue to be how he is to you,
to hurt you,
but you want him to change. You desire your father.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing you can say to me, your sister, to convince me that you honestly don't want daddy in your life.
Yeah,
I agree,
because you're too much like him. And like you said, we're like this, like a few minutes ago, he's like, yeah, we like this and so and so. You wouldn't talk about nobody like that you don't want a part of your life. Matter of fact, you was, I ain't nothing like him, but you were just happy saying like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, my dad did like command wrong, we like that. But I feel like you don't want him to, you basically just don't like the relationship that y'all have right now. But what I will say is, y'all should, what we had said earlier, y'all should definitely, have a talk. But one thing I want to say to you, and this is something that helped me, sometimes you have to meet people where they are. You might desire for somebody to be a certain father to you, but you have to remember that they are human. Like the things that daddy experienced that we don't know about, he had certain events that happened that, in his foundational years, that molded him a certain way, which is why he operates a certain way. So the dad that you desire, he may not ever become that. Right. And like I said, what I'm telling you is what I did for myself to help me open back up again to dad, because you have to, and it's not saying that he has to disrespect you, because people have to put in the effort, but you also have to acknowledge the effort or see it like, okay, he trying. But you have to be okay with the fact that he may not be the exact father that you want him to be.
And I think I have realized that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I'm in a place to accept where he is. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that to say, because like, again, like, I have in the beginning done like healing to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to accept him where he is. But I think the little boy in me is like screaming, no, I want my father. So I have not yet compartmentalized him just being Gerald McClain, the human, rather than being Joe McClain, my father, if you get what I'm saying. So, like he's a great person. He's a great person, and so I think I just need to put away or be okay with not having Joe McClain, the father that I desire.
So I got a question. What are the core memories that you have with Daddy? Because that'll help me understand like how you're viewing him. Like, what are some core memories? Because when people have like strong opinions about something or someone, it's like there are specific things that happen that make you think like that. So what are the core memories that you have?
It's so crazy because I do remember a lot of the times like when I needed dad, he wasn't there. Like, I remember this one time in college, like I was crying really bad, dad. And could you send me this? Like, if I make this amount of money, will you front up the other? He said, yeah, I got you. Like, I cried to him vulnerable, and he didn't show up. It's just a lot of times when he didn't show up, even in my current life. Like there's a lot of things that, like dad would misuse my kindness. Like with taking care of, he would underpay me. Cleaning his house, underpay me. And then would say it's a lesson.
I remember that.
And so you're as my father misusing me.
Taking advantage
of me. But then when I come to you and say, Dad, could you help me with something? You say, oh, I don't have it. And then, but also would turn it on you and say, y'all just want me for money. So
I don't think he wanted to abandon you, but he had to, he had to go and get himself right.
And that's okay.
And live his life, in a sense.
And I think I tried to give him that opportunity.
So it was admitted.
Well, this is the thing, like, there was a point in time when they were gone, right? My brothers and sisters were gone, it was just me. And so, like, Dad would come by the house to visit. Like, I'm checking on him. I'm doing all these things. Like, I'm understanding. Like, I'm being understanding. Like, I understand that I don't know how I was very, like, understanding at this age, but there was a lot of things that I understood.
The strength of God. Yeah.
That he's human. Like, I understood that, but, like, I think there was one point in my journey with him when I was like, hey, Dad, how you doing? Or we was outside, something happened, but I do remember him saying, y'all just want, like, money from me. Like, I'm like, I'm genuinely checking in on you. I haven't asked you for anything. And yeah, those moments kind of did something to me. Now, to answer your question, to respond to what you said as well, like, I think you did actually desire the relationship. I do, but I think it's easier.
You desire the relationship, but you're not accepting where he is right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the capacity to accept, because
where he is
right now, because in my life right now, I'm like in a very sensitive, vulnerable place to where I am building something that in my personal life I have never seen. And so there are key things that in my past that I've learned that I hold, unfortunately, and this is something I have to work on, but like Dad's words for me, like, hold value. So if he was to say anything intentional or unintentional to
because of who he is,
destroy, because of who he is, like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, there was a time when I'm still into singing and stuff like that, but like I was like, Dad, like, I want to go to American Idol. He's like, let me you sing right now. Sing right now. And I sung, he was like, no. We're not ready. And so, like, very passionate of that. Again, like, giving him grace, and like, I know that he's human. Yeah.
Let me hear you sing right now for American Idol.
You're not ready.
Just. No,
but I have a question. Have you ever, cause with me and the other siblings, like I said, we all had different versions. Me personally, I feel like I had the best version of Daddy. Like, when he was like on his stuff, I had the best version of Daddy. I wanted to ask, like, have you ever, like, now this not me, I'm not taking, cause I'm not on nobody's side. I love my daddy and I love my brothers.
Yeah.
Have you ever, like, talked to Daddy about his childhood? Like, has he ever told you about his childhood? Because some of the stuff, like, when you was talking, I was shaking my head because the words that's coming to mind is like manipulation, like
his dad, his parents,
and then like gaslighting. But if you actually sit and talk to Daddy, you will see why he does that. And sometimes when people do certain things, they not even aware that they doing it. Cause it's just like, when they say you're a product of your environment, if you actually talk to Daddy and listen, and you hear how he grew up, you'll be like, you'll look at his life and you'll be surprised that he turned out how he did.
You will see.
You'll be like, wow.
Light of, okay, this is why Gerald McClain as a man brought this into Gerald McClain as a father.
And you'll be like, dang, no, he is really trying. Like, I promise, like, when I actually, cause all of us was mad, but when I actually sat and talked to Daddy, I'm like, dang, I don't know how I would have been. Like, And like I said, I'm not taking up for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like listen to his story, daddy, like we were talking about the generational stuff, daddy has abandonment issues.
Yeah, it does.
And
Rejection.
Child abuse.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be like, whose responsibility is it after, you know, Gerald the third has tried?
I'm not saying you're responsible for nothing, because everybody should be held accountable for their own things, but I'm telling you this to help with understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and when you understand things, it allows you to give grace. That's why God, you know, he sent Jesus and all that stuff. He understands, like, the things that we go through. It's not to, like, well, no, you have to stop it. It's like, no, it's just like, so you can give a little grace. That's all.
Yeah.
Cause he got a story, like how daddy grew up, the stuff that the things that I have heard, and you'll look at like where daddy is, like on his timeline, you'll be like, that nigga out here doing it.
And the thing is too, I just think we have to keep in mind as well that like we're a part of the generation to where like we want to unlearn bad habits. Mm-hmm. We want to unlearn certain things that we were taught, because we now realize that like that was not right. And it's easier for us right now because we have the access to the tools. But you know, when it comes to our parents, they still learning. Yeah. They still trying to really figure it out. Yeah. They still trying to see like, so are we really unlearning things that our parents taught us? Like, they still trying to accept in their heart and unharden their heart from the stuff that they experienced.
To me, I turned that okay.
Okay,
like,
you know, like that's their mindset.
Right.
And so they're in a position to where like, man, I gotta work on me too now. And luckily, thankfully, you know, we blessed. We working at 20 and 30, but they working at 50, 60. And it looks a little different.
And then dealing with midlife crisis.
Yeah.
That too.
Menopause.
People are around, they're dropping like this.
Friends.
So that's why sometimes daddy may seem like, Jerry, I apologize. Like I can't. And to you it's like, wait. Because you remember you younger, it's like, wait, no, we need to do this, we need to do it. Not saying that you can't, but he thinking differently. Like, man, I'm trying to enjoy what I got left. I can't stay back there because I ain't got 52, 53 years in front of me. I ain't got that, so I gotta make the best of what I have now. I apologize. I want to work with you. Like, okay, you can. I mean. And that's why I say sometimes you have to meet people where they are, and you have to look at everything. Because like I said, if you listen to his story and see where he is, daddy was very much a statistic. He dropped out of high school. Daddy grew up poor, child abuse, neglect. Like daddy grew up with a whole lot of stuff. And yes, he did the things. And then also remember, he was young, had at the time 4 kids, 2 baby mamas, and he was young. He went to school. Our daddy is a doctor. Like my daddy is from the country. Like, and like daddy dealt with a whole lot. So I'm just, and like I said, I'm not telling you this to put it like, no, you put this on your back, you carry it. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it to help y'all relationship, just to give some grace. Because like you said, the story didn't start in 1990. Was you 97? 97. It didn't start there. Because before you was here, I was 93. It didn't start with me either. They had a whole nother life in the foundational years of their life.
His mom and daddy wasn't, you know, in a predicament to love him properly or the way he needed to be loved.
And you talking about how your daddy was. Daddy had his own daddy tell him to his face that he don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to do with you or your family.
Oh, I know that.
How would that feel? Now there are people that wonder, like, I wonder how my daddy was, or I don't know my daddy. But to see you finally find your dad, and he tells you to your face in front of your family, I don't want nothing to do with you or your family.
Yes.
His daddy.
If you don't want to talk to your dad anymore, I mean, that is something like, you know, you're going to have to live with. That is a decision, you know, that you made. If y'all just went to Jesus, he could very much fix the relationship. Sometimes I think it's just easy for us to forget the tools that we really need, and it sounds like the tool that's the common denominator here is God.
Yeah, I think also that, and I first of all, from the conversations of my brothers and sisters, I do believe that they are experiencing a new.
Oh no, I'm telling you, when we was at their thing, I was like, Unc is really out here trying. Like, he trying, good energy.
Because you're not here.
Yeah, so and that's
energy.
the thing that I do also have to take accountability for as well. Like, I'm not here to see how he is evolving, and I'm not knocking that. And I think part of my healing journey is to continue to take accountability and say, okay, well, Cheryl, first of all,
but I don't want you to feel like you have to take accountability for something you didn't do.
Well, I'm saying, like, so there's a certain journey in people's healing to where, like, you can't. Yes, that happened to you. You can't constantly keep taking the victim role. You either do something about it. Mm-hmm. And so my accountability is saying, like, okay, He's not he done all this. Mm-hmm. He's done all this. What do I want to do with that now? And so my accountability is saying, like, do I keep him out of my life or do I take it? And that's my responsibility to make that. To me knowing you, if Daddy passed away yesterday, love, that would tear you, that would shred you.
Do you feel like that?
You think you good now?
Do you feel like that?
When I say that will mess you. That will be like a big regret.
Do you really feel like if your dad was to pass away right now, you would
gonna put it in the past? If he passed yesterday.
Yeah. If he passed
we're
yesterday.
Getting together because we're planning our dad's obituary. That wasn't even a question for me. That was a fact. I know that would mess you up,
but I don't think it would.
I think it would.
Well, I think it'll be. I think it'll be mixed emotions just because.
Let me be transparent. I don't mind being vulnerable, transparent.
Okay,
so
great.
This is, I think, yes, I will be messed up, but I will be messed up. I think also, like, this is why I'm kind of like detaching myself to not have to go through that traumatic. But it's just a defense. It don't make sense. I mean, it'll hurt. Yeah, I understand that.
This is what I had to say too earlier when we were talking about, like, Gerald, we are here, so we're healing different from you.
Yeah.
When you come in town, like she was saying, you have to be intentional. Like, you have, look at it like this, like you have a broken, infected arm. You're trying to put a Band-Aid on it. We like, baby girl, no.
Get to the ER.
You need some antibiotics. They need to do this. You need a cast. You need to, like, the process that we went through, like, it's gonna hurt. Mm-hmm. It's gonna hurt. You gotta, like, you have to be intentional. You talk to that, hey, Daddy, it's gonna be so uncomfortable. It's fine, getting on my nerves. But if it's something that you desire, you want this to get fixed, you're gonna have to be intentional. We're gonna have to go through the process like everybody else did.
Yeah.
Because I promise I ain't enjoy the process.
Yeah.
I've had daddy block. Don't call me.
Because of this conversation, which I appreciate, it is helping me to be open to, and this is the thing, like, because I do have I'm very empathetic, so I do understand. I do know that understanding somebody's story will help in your forgiveness and for you to give them grace. So I do want to say I do appreciate that.
And this probably gonna be the last thing I say. Mm-hmm. You're able to make whatever decision you desire.
100. Whatever
that best fits you, but also it's not that it's just popped in my head, but it's not just about you either, because, and I ain't talking about daddy, I'm talking about Gerald. When Gerald gets married, your kids, that's their granddaddy. No matter if you like him or not, that's their granddaddy. And you know, somebody's great granddaddy. You know, so it's not just you, but Make the best, go like she said, go to God about it. Make the best decision. But let's also, this is the most important thing. Let's also remember we are on a time clock. Make the best decision for you and your kids. Look at it like that for me and my kids. It gotta stop somewhere. It gotta stop somewhere. And whoever's trying to stop it, like I said, when you break in general, you gotta use something to break it. It's hard work. It's not finna be easy. And guess what? When you have kids, your child gonna have something to say about you.
You could.
And you better hope
that abandonment generational curse.
the type of grace, because you don't know how you gonna be in the future. You might, God forbid, you experience something that you change completely. The same type of grace you want your child to have for you, you better give it to yours. So let's remember that. Just remember the time clock.
I want to show you this to let you know that I'm not perfect. That even though that I am growing in my mental health, there's still some things that God is having me to work on and still revealing stuff to me. So I just want to encourage somebody, especially leaders, that feel like they have to be perfect or have everything together, because that's something that I still do with. This episode is dedicated to our future relationships.
Yes, claim it.
Oh, this Mother's Day.
Well, dance with my father.
I could.
Okay, I love you, Dad. I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit the red button. Talk to y'all later. Let's
Because
go.
if he glad,
If I make it, you
can make it.
too.